Hello, and welcome back to episode 2 of BoyBicoastal with your host, me, Tommy. Um, there is a few podcast housekeeping things that I want to do before I go into the main chunk of the episode, but I'm really, really excited to be back, especially because this is so new. I honestly really, really wanted to just record another episode right after I had recorded the one that I recorded last week. But I wanted to give myself some distance from the episode. So, one, that I could live life, and then two, I didn't want to just jump all in because a lot of the times when I tend to do things, like I just want to just go all in and do as much as I can, and I don't want to prematurely burn myself out. So that being said, some housekeeping things. Um, I do have an outline for today. It's kind of extensive, so we'll see kind of where I end up. Moving forward, I'm gonna pre-record episodes so that I don't fall behind. But I just wanted to give myself a week this time, just so, I mean, this is kind of like background stuff that you guys really don't need to know, but I do want to start pre-recording so I have at least one episode banked just in case anything happens, so that there won't ever be an interruption with the podcast. Luckily, this is going out the same day that I'm recording it, so that there's no hiccups, which I like. And I'm going to kind of talk about why I did what I did. They're going to be more topic focused. I'm going to have some story times in there. It's still going to be organic. And then I do want to kind of, have, I don't know if it's like a jingle or maybe just like a set intro. Just, I tend to like that type of thing, at least in the podcast that I typically enjoy. So we'll see what I can come up with. I'll have to create that on my own, and I've never done something like that, so we'll see. As for a co-host, I do kind of like the one-man solo show thing, but I'm still open to seeing if I could bring someone on. I think it would be fun to kind of build off of somebody else. That way it would be a lot more organic, and I could get into things and have a different point of view. But as of right now, that's not gonna happen. And then as for the name, so I know I kind of was a little bit facetious last week. Not to gatekeep the name, but I just wanted to make sure that I could acquire a lot of the digital and social media things to match with the name of the podcast. That's like some background stuff, but um, basically to kind of go into why I named it why I did. Originally, I wanted to go with Bicoastal Boy or Bicoastal Boys, depending on if I had myself or I was with someone else. But I felt like Boy Bicoastal just kind of fit. It just sounds like a podcast name. But that being said, I am also, this is so pretentious to say, but I am bi-coastal in a sense. I currently live in LA, but I often visit my family in New Jersey. So there's that bi-coastal sense in there. So that's kind of an explanation of the name. And also, I didn't want to spend too much time thinking of it because a lot of times I can just get, it's a rabbit hole trying to find the perfect thing. So, not the first thing that I thought of, but it was one of my ideas, and I think it just fits well with what I'm trying to do. And then I did kind of want to get into something that I found over on the internet. So it was kind of like a statistic about podcasts specifically. This is actually a tweet from Jack Butcher. I have no idea who that is, so bear with me here. But this was from 2021, and he said 90% of podcasts don't get past episode 3. That's 1.8 million who quit. Of the 200K left, 90% will quit after 20 episodes. That's another 180K gone. To be in the top 1% of podcasts in the world, you only need to publish 21 episodes. Obviously, maybe this has changed. That was 2021. It's now 2023, so a lot has changed, especially in the podcast scene. But I just thought it was like some kind of food for thought about just different things, and so I'm excited to kind of get started with episode 2, and then definitely make it past episode 3. So we'll go from there. I also did want to get into and do a better intro because I feel like I didn't do myself justice. So again, my name is Tommy. I live in LA. I do work full time. I work overnights, which is why my schedule is so crazy. Like today, I even woke up at like 3 a.m. Just to kind of put that in perspective. I couldn't go back to sleep, so I was just like, all right, I guess I'm starting my day. But I'm a 20-something living here, kind of not trying to find myself, but trying to just accomplish my goals, just to put it simply. And I found a lot of renewed motivation, at least recently, and honestly excited. I'm just excited about life in general. I'm Chronically on TikTok, and there's something that I saw on there that I really, really liked. It was about romanticizing your life. And then I'm sure we've all kind of heard of it, but being delusional. But mostly the romanticizing your life really resonated with me, and it's resonating with me now more so than ever. And just, I don't know, just going for it. And then a little bit on the cultural side. So both my parents are foreigners, technically. They are both Polish, from Poland, so I'm able to speak Polish because we spoke it a lot in the house. Pretty much the rule in my house was, you get enough English at school, so Polish is only allowed to be spoken in the household. So I kind of like that because it's come in handy a lot of times. So I'm kind of glad that my parents were kind of strict with that. Just because it's cool to at least know 2 languages. So that's pretty much it about me, or at least that I want to get into. I'm sure more of myself will show as these episodes go on, but let's jump into it. One thing I did forget to mention last episode, so I mentioned I had 2 kind of obsessions. Obviously, one was my coffee maker, or espresso maker, which I use every single day, at least recently. And then I didn't get into the next one, so I think it kind of slipped my mind. But, and this was another one of those TikTok things, but the Stanley Cup, which this is not sponsored, by the way, but it should be. I've been absolutely obsessed with my Stanley Cup. They're super easy to clean, they're convenient, durable. I love them. I've been recommending them to everyone, and I've already gotten compliments about it, or people just recognizing it from TikTok and just relating. So honestly, I love it. I've been taking it to the gym, work. It's just super convenient. I've only been putting cold liquids in it, but I was washing it, and it does retain heat well. With that, because I wash it with like super hot water, but that's it on that end. I actually bought 2 of them, which is that's my first guilty purchase of 2023. So I got a navy one and I got a white one. I think I'm done now. Gonna pull back and reel it in so that I'm not going down rabbit holes. And then on this is like a slight tangent, but on the topic of like material things, I guess. So we're in January, it's kind of the season of returns, I would say. A lot of stores' policies are that returns are due, by January 31st, after the whole holiday season, Christmas, that type of thing. Um, and one of these things that I wanted to bring up, or at least uh, that came to my mind, was is it okay to return gifts? Now I have my own story about this, and I have my own like opinions, but um, you guys could also let me know what you think. But so returning gifts, I feel like it's a not a hot topic, but I might have a hot take, I guess you could say. Um, I think that it's, at least at this point in my life, I've come to terms with the idea that it is okay to return slash exchange gifts. Now, I will tell you why right now. So my example, at least now, is, so I recently, I went home for the holidays, just because I had a lot of things that I needed to do, needed to get my Christmas shopping done, that type of thing. And so I got gifts as well. A lot of my gifts came early, that type of thing, or a lot of my family members gave my gifts early to me. So regardless of the fact, so I got shoes. I actually got Nike shoes. Um, I got Jordans, and they weren't exactly what I wanted in the sense of just style, right? They were like the um, mid cut Jordans, and I've been super obsessed with the low cut Jordans, right? This is kind of like a mild example, I guess, of like returning exchanging, but I think it still fits the thing. Um, so I actually got matching um, shoes with my brother, um, from my other brother. So, and if you're listening to this, I am so sorry, but I needed to exchange it. So we got matching, but um, I've been obsessed with my my white Jordans, which are lows, and so I I've been ruminating over it, and I'm like, should I exchange it? We got matching shoes. It almost doesn't seem right, but I was just like, I'm not going to wear these shoes to the fullest extent. And that was kind of me rationalizing, hey, I'm going to return it. I'm going to exchange it for what I actually want, for what I'm actually going to love. I got the same color and everything. I got all black. Um, so they're still going to be the same pretty much shoe, but they're just going to be the lows, which I'm going to, honestly, I just finished my order, so it's going to come probably, I think, next week. Um, but I would rather, exchange it and love it for what it is, and still have it be associated with, hey, um, my brother got this for me, and I made it slightly better. And also, there was another thing. My mom's kind of superstitious, but she always said never to buy, close loved ones shoes, um, because it's like almost symbolic of like they will walk away from you, walk out of your life, with those shoes, right? So whenever she would buy me shoes, she would always be like, "Pay me a penny for these shoes," that type of thing. So I think in a sense, like I kind of avoided, severing the ties, at least if you're thinking of it superstitiously, by returning them, getting a gift card, and then buying the shoes that I wanted myself. Um, that type of thing. So that's my little tangent before I actually get into things. I wanted to jump in and kind of update about my routine as well. So I know I was saying like I'm changing things up a little bit, and I just wanted to give a little bit of an update, and kind of maybe this will motivate um, if you're kind of struggling getting into your own kind of routine of things. But I think my main point of advice before I kind of um, get into the rest of it is just have things that you look forward to in your morning. Obviously, my my espresso machine is super new, But that's currently what my motivation is. My motivation, the top of my list of things to do is to make my morning coffee. Obviously, I haven't drank coffee that regularly in my life, but I still do like it. So it might be the developing caffeine addiction. That's kind of what my body associates with the mornings. That could potentially be it, or it's just also something that I love to do in my specific morning. Um, and I actually have another story about caffeine addictions. This is so this is so crazy, but I right now I rarely drink anything else other than water throughout the day, or my morning coffee recently with a little bit of almond milk. Um, Other than that, I might have a craving for like, juice, but other than that, I really avoid anything else. But I used to be a huge soda fanatic. Like that's the main thing that I would drink, which was so unhealthy looking back at that now. Um, and that was specifically when I was in college and things like that. So um, I guess I'll just jump into it. So on campus, we had a thing where you could go in and get takeout. And I had a meal plan and everything. So you swipe your card and you kind of get a little takeout container. But the dangerous thing about it was the little cups that they gave you. So a lot of times I would grab two cups and I would fill them with soda. Um, and one night I had gotten takeout and I got back to my dorm room, finished eating, drank all my soda, and then I'm laying in bed. And I remember this so vividly. I was laying like flat on my stomach for something, I don't know, I was just sleeping like that for whatever reason. And I kid you not, I was literally vibrating from just the caffeine coursing through my body, to be quite honest, which was that was the signal to me that I knew I needed to change up my thing. So I ended up actually weaning myself off of soda. And how I did this is um, I would have two drinks, and slowly but surely I went from having, like a full cup of soda and like half water to kind of like balancing it out to where like I would drink a little bit of the soda, wash it down with water type thing. So I was like slowly leaning the soda out. Um, but I overcame it. I genuinely believe that was kind of like an addiction type thing to like the sweetness of it, the taste of it, and things like that. And then eventually I just replaced it with juice, and then eventually I just replaced it with water. And that's how I became the heavy water drinker that I am today. Obviously, that's a little bit extreme, but it ended up working. Hopefully, maybe that helps somebody, but that's my soda addiction story in a nutshell. Um, and the reason I remember that so well is because I actually took a public speaking class, and I that was one of my topics on how to kick your caffeine habit, and I was able to kind of personally relate. Because I think one of the topics was you have to like teach something. I don't know. I remember, but I have a few stories from that class, but I'm gonna get into that. You know, probably not in this episode, but because I keep going off on tangents. But and I'm gonna try not to promise things in future episodes because that really annoys me when people don't follow through. So um, first and last time, but um, back back to the routine of things. So um, the way that's been making me it's been a week. I started really kind of trying to organize my life January 5th. And how I've been doing that is writing everything down. Every little thing in my routine that I do, um, I write down. And I have another statistic, and I promise this won't be a regular thing, but I don't know. I was just feeling the statistics today, but CNBC posted kind of like a study, and this was in 2019, so this is kind of like a little bit outdated, but it was about self-made millionaires, and it found listen to this. It found 42% of people were more likely to achieve their goals and dreams simply by writing them down on a daily basis. And the reason this came up, actually, my little brother sent me that statistic, and it's because we were talking about, different things. I've been in my like motivation kick recently, so of course I have to tell people about it and stuff like that. But which I'm trying not to, because I heard that kind of like you're giving yourself like almost like a dopamine hit by like telling people, oh, like you're doing all of this stuff. So I'm trying to keep it low key. Other than that, but I usually I'm able to like vent and things like that. So basically, we were talking about this actually over the phone. I'm in my phone call era this year for some reason. I've been preferring phone calls and FaceTimes rather than just texting through. It's a lot easier, and then you also get to see the person face to face and things like that. So anyways, we were chatting over the phone about different things, and I realized that I do this. I've had planners, and I remember being in kind of not kindergarten but elementary school where we had agendas. I don't know if anybody else had something, so probably, but I think this was like something that they were trying to teach us on how to plan. So like I would have my agenda super organized in school. Like I would know when everything was due. I would cross things off as I completed them, that type of thing. Like, let's bring back memories. But it's just it's something similar that I'm doing now, where I'm writing down like every little detail of my day on what I want to do the following day. So I'll plan at night, kind of get myself organized and things that I want to accomplish the next day. And then it's pretty much just like almost like a checklist of things that I need to accomplish. So it's been working, and a lot of times it's almost like a snowball effect. Like the list that I have, it just keeps growing, and things that I'm adding to my routine, that I'm just able to, I'm doing this, I might as well do this as well. And I guess like an example of that is like, hey, I'm brushing my teeth, I might as well floss too. That type of thing, where I'm just adding things to my routine, and I'm pretty much making time, whereas before I'd be like, well, I don't have time for any of this. I don't know how anyone gets anything done. And that's the main point that I wanted to hit today, is that small wins are big wins. Those small things add up, and you can look back on your week and be like, hey, I achieved all of this stuff. I got all of this stuff done. I've had a successful week. And one of the things, this was a lot of the time, so like I said, like I'm chronically on TikTok and things like that, which I hate to bring it up multiple times, but a lot of the times, not even the videos, but the comment sections on the videos are sometimes more compelling than the actual video. So someone commented that they sometimes pretend to be a sim to get things done. And it might be such a, like a, I don't know, like a neurodivergent type of thing to think about, but I read that and it really resonated with me, where I was like, I've had moments like that in my life where I'm like, this is such a sim thing to do, like my laundry, or like cooking, or like multitasking and doing your dishes while you're cooking food, etc. Like you feel like a sim, and I feel like sometimes that helps just get things done, because you're like, well, this isn't going to take that long, and you're kind of looking forward to doing the things later on in your day, where you're like, I just need to get through this, I just need to get through folding my laundry, and you kind of build up to the point to where you want to get to, like, more fun things in your day, like maybe you have Netflix planned out, or something like that. So that really has helped me, I guess. But I also wanted to talk, so there's not always going to be successes, right? I had a few hiccups this week myself, honestly. And that was two specific hiccups. So the first one being that I overslept. So, and this happened right when my work week started. I overslept the following day, so I wasn't able to complete all of the things that were on my list. And at first, I was beating myself up about it, where I was just like, how could I let this happen? You know, we have our phones, we can set alarms, and etc. And I was beating myself up about it, like super harsh. Um, but I ended up rationalizing in my head. I'm like, hey, you know, the main thing that you weren't able to do that day was go to the gym. That you know, during the work week, I'm kind of a little bit more busy. I have longer days, so not able to do it as much. And the main thing that I do during my week is, you know, get my errands done, go to the gym and things like that. And I kind of just rationalized it where I was just like, hey, my body probably just needed rest. You know, I've been really pushing myself these past few days. I'm going to take it as a rest day. I can put a lot of the things that are on my list tomorrow and just pick up my routine from there. And now I've learned for next week, hey, maybe that day back, I need a little bit of extra time so I can get rested, just because the transition to working at night is a little bit rough. So, you know, being kind to yourself is also, and forgiving is important. And then another one of my fails, which is actually for this. So I wanted to record this yesterday, and it was on my list yesterday, and I wasn't able to cross it off. You know, I had planned out so much to do yesterday, and don't get me wrong, I have no idea how I completed some of the things that I had on there. Like I put a lot of reach things where in my head I was like, how am I going to have time to do this? There's just no way. So like the four things that I added where they were kind of like reach goals that were outside of my normal routine was scheduling a haircut, getting my return done that I talked about earlier, donating some clothes, and then also buying a book that I wanted to read. So four things that would have taken me outside of my normal routine, and I managed to get them all done. Like I literally, I got home from whatever I was doing, and I was like, how am I going to get all of this done? And I really thought about it. I'm like, okay, what time do all of these places close? Conveniently, it was like the stars aligned, where like one closed at 7, one closed at 8, one closed at 9, one closed at 10. I'm like, perfect. That's how I'm going to accomplish all of these things. I'm going to do the first one, and I'm going to go all the way down to the list so that I make sure that I get it done. And then I ended up getting it all done. And at the end of the day, I was just way too tired to try to accomplish the last thing on my list, which was recording this. I think it's been kind of working out to kind of record these early in the morning when I have a lot of energy, versus at the end of the day where I'm a little bit more subdued and kind of tuckered out. So that was my other fails. So I was just like, this is okay. I can record it tomorrow, get it uploaded, and I'll be fine. And just having, I think it makes sense to have those contingency plans set into place. Because I could have failed earlier this week and just, you know, ruminated in that and let it dwell on my mind and kind of break the kind of snowball effect of success that I've been having. But I managed to dodge that and just keep moving. And then that's pretty much it on the main thing that I wanted to talk about. I had a few more things, but I think I'm going to save them for next week. I'm really, really happy with how this kind of this episode kind of went. I think doing the outline definitely helped. Just as like a kind of behind the scenes type thing, but that definitely helped. And I think I have so many more things to talk about. I have a lot of ideas. I already have them written down, so they're gonna come, and I'm super excited. So thanks for